What's good, everybody, and welcome back to the channel for another episode of our Madden 23 San Antonio Express expansion draft-only franchise. We are in off-season 4 already. Seems like time is just flying by as we see the Buccaneers won the championship against the Ravens. Of course, had our very own Delvin Walls as Defensive Rookie of the Year, so we continue our streak of having a Rookie of the Year, now 3 straight years. This is the first time we didn't have Offensive Rookie of the Year. First year we had Lewis Smart and Timmy Reed. Second year we had Kevon Simmons and Wyatt Costanzo. This year, Delvin Walls. But as the season concluded, we had our post-season meeting with owner Peyton Manning and head coach Eli Manning. And Peyton, he showed us a little bit of support for improving and getting our first winning record of the year, but he made his expectation clear at the beginning of the year. Really at the beginning of last offseason, that he thought we were a couple of free agent additions away from making the playoffs, and we didn't make the playoffs, and so he is furious. He wants to once again start using free agency and the trade market to improve this team. We are so close, and I fight for the draft only strategy. I use everything I can to keep him from forcing us to use free agency, and he has given us an ultimatum. We have one more year. It is playoffs or we are fired as GM of the San Antonio Express. We need, as we look here at the retirements, to make the playoffs this year with draft only, or this series will come to an end. The draft only formula will be determined unsuccessful by our owner Peyton Manning. He is used to winning. He wants to win here, and the pressure's on. So let's start this offseason by looking at some re-signings. Want to have a decent backup tackle there in Bush. Andrew Jackson also has some desire to return to us. I want him back. He didn't accept a 2-year $6, but he does accept a 1-year $4. Paul Purnell also wants to be back. Typically with guys that are more depth guys, I'll try to re-sign them if they have interest, and if they don't, we're just not going to re-sign them. I really only want to sign red guys if they're actually starting for us, and missing them is going to have a major impact on the team. Jelani Mooney says no to that contract offer. Not really interested in bringing back Cole DeMarco. Tony Bethel, see if like a 2-year 5. No, let's just give him 1 year, honestly. And he says no, 1 year. Cole DeMarco, he's been getting worse since he came to the team. He regresses every year, so I'd rather just start anew at the quarterback position. And let's take our first look at mock draft 3. Of course, we've previewed the draft already. Brandon Nash is who I consider to be a 5-star quarterback, and George McLean I would consider to be a 5-star edge rusher. Those are my top 2 players in the class. I also have a 5-star rating for Hunter Nichols at 6 and Sean Rogers at 7. So we have 4 5-star prospects, 2 at each of our positions of need. And with this ultimatum from Peyton Manning, I kind of want to do as much as I can to get one of each. Let's take a look at the needs of this team, though. Something I like to do every offseason and kind of rank my needs. I think number 1 is going to be quarterback. Devin Hamilton, if nothing else happens this offseason, we are drafting the replacement, whether that's Sean Rogers or Brandon Nash. He's not our quarterback. Number 2, I think, is edge. Even with D'Angelo Bramble going up to star dev, A, he's not going to be available to start next year. And B, I just think he's in year 4. He hasn't reached 80 overall yet. I really wanted to trade him this offseason, but his Achilles tear is going to keep that from happening. I think off-ball linebacker would be my number 3 need, and then maybe a 3rd defensive interior guy would be my number 4 need. Or actually, no, let's rearrange that. I think 4 would be interior offensive line, as we still have a normal depth starter there, and then 5 would be a third interior defensive lineman, as neither Timmy Reed or Jaron Lacey has, even with the +4, reaches 90 injury. And we saw that we were without them late last season. And defensive line injuries have kind of honestly tanked our season the last 2 years. One other thing I want to talk about is who I'm willing to trade. We are going to be aggressive in this draft. With this ultimatum, we need to exchange players. We need to get more picks in this draft so we can hopefully get 2 picks at the top. First player we're trading is Devin Hamilton. I don't imagine he's going to be happy being a backup quarterback, and I think we can find a team or two where he will be the starter. The second guy I wanted to trade was D'Angelo Bramble. I thought for sure he was going to be somebody that we trade. We have that coach tree ability or whatever that every team that you're trading to views the player you're trading as a dev hire. So, you know, we would have been trading in their mind a superstar edge player. Probably could have netted us a second at least. And then there's one more player that I think I was considering before the D'Angelo Bramble trade, but I think now it's almost necessary. Darius Slayton, and you're thinking, well, you don't have the depth at receiver to trade Darius Slayton. Why would you do it? Let's just look at the production here. Last season, he had 36 catches, 518 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Our wide receiver 3 is like a 72 and 73 overall normal guy right now. Do I believe I can get that level of production from a 73 overall normal guy? I honestly do. And so, because Darius Slayton has star dev and he's going to be viewed as a superstar by other teams because of what I just talked about, if it comes down to it, I'm willing to trade him. I'm not 100% sure on trading him, but I'm definitely willing to should it come to that. I don't know if there's really anyone else that we could trade. Maybe one of our depth offensive linemen. We have a lot of depth there, but I just don't know if they're going to net us enough to truly make a difference. But I would be willing to trade one or two should we need to. But let's talk about our game plan for the draft and who and kind of where I need to trade up into the draft. We know that we only have 1 first-round draft pick this year, and it's at 17. That is not going to be enough, as we see all 4 of the players that I really want at the top of the draft are going in the top 7. So I need, at the very least, 2 top 7 draft picks in this draft. It's going to require a lot of trading, and I'm going to be doing it. We've done a decent bit of trading in the previous years of this series, but I'm going to be very, very aggressive. I don't care if we end up with like a 3 or 4 player class in this offseason. We have officially entered phase 2 of a franchise like this, where we've built a team that makes sense on paper. Now we just need to be aggressive in getting the 1 or 2 best players in this class. Another guy I really want in this class is Rashard Younger. He's around 1 to 2 guys, so we would need another pick in the late first. So we're talking about going from 1 pick at 17 to 2 probably top 5 picks and a pick in the mid to late 20s to get the 3 guys I want early in this draft. Another guy I really, really like is JT Bean. I think we've seen a guy like our mentor Justin Coleman need to take a lot of snaps at corner last year, even though we're a draft-only franchise, just because we lack corner depth. JT Bean can help us fix that. DeJounte Hillhouse, in terms of being one of the 5 needs of this team, he could be our 3rd defensive tackle. Reggie Flynn for our 3rd need at off-ball linebacker. Orlando Black is a day 3 corner that I like in case we don't have the draft capital to get all those 3 first-round picks, plus a second for JT Bean. Jalen Turner is a receiver I really like, especially if we have to trade Darius Slayton to get the picks that we want. But even if we don't have to trade Darius Slayton, I think he'd be a valuable addition as a 3rd receiver. And so, what picks am I looking to get? Honestly, I kind of want picks 1 and 2 in this draft to get Brandon Nash and George McLean. I think they're the 2 best players in this class. I want them both. So I'm looking to get picks 1 and 2. Let me look at my notes. I'm also looking to get pick 25, pick in the mid to late 40s for JT Bean, and then the top 2 picks in the 4th round. That is going to require a lot of trading, so let's get the trading underway. I think the first piece we're going to move here is Devin Hamilton. Let's see what we can't get for him. But before we do that, actually, let's look at what I'm willing to trade. Basically, any pick in this draft that's not the picks that I outlined just below. And then honestly, any pick next year except for a 1 and 3. I want a 1 and a 3 at least next year, so that we have a 1 and then we can have a 3 to trade up. If we have a 1-player class next year, that's fine. My job is on the line. I am trading next year's draft picks. If that's what it takes to get the draft class that I think pushes us towards being a playoff team. I want to take a look at the teams around the league and see where Devin Hamilton would start. But before we do that, I want to see what his motivations and tags are, because I want somebody that could at least re-sign him. Highest offer means is going to be that same bar for everyone. So that's awesome that that's his biggest one. Also, big market is his second. So we could use big market as like a tiebreaker if there are a few different teams that he could start for. Denver's kind of close here just because Russell's so old, but also he's in division, and I don't want Devin Hamilton to just all of a sudden be good inside of our division. A lot of no's here. You could maybe make the case against the Colts. No, they have Jeremiah Folds. John Michaels, no. Cowboys, no. Tua, no. Eagles, they're honestly really similar quarterbacks. They even have the same face scan. Or I guess face, I don't know, it's not really a face scan. It probably is somebody's face, honestly. Logan Fulham's better, Trey Lance is better, Eddie Shelton's better, Lawrence is better, Zach Wilson you could maybe make the case for. Probably not though, not enough of an upgrade. No. The Rams. Okay, the Rams absolutely need a quarterback. They would send a second to us, I think, in a heartbeat. The Saints as well. So I think the Rams and the Saints are two teams that could use Hamilton as their starter. Texans you can maybe argue, but okay, Titans as well. And then Vikings. So there are 4 teams. Titans, Vikings, Saints, and Rams. And again, I think because he likes the big market, we're going to use the big market as a tiebreaker. And they're also the worst at quarterback of all of them. They have nobody even over 60 overall. I think we can even maybe squeeze a little bit more than a 2. Let's try a 2 and a 4. Let's try a 2 and a 3 for Devin Hamilton. And the Rams accepts. We're also going to just start kind of going through the trades really quickly there. We got the trade for Slayton for a 2. We traded the 5th and the 6th to get up to the 4th. We traded back into the 1st to pick up a 3rd from moving from 17 to 25. And then something that we're doing here is our pick next year is actually valued at 9. And we found a team in the Falcons who have a high pick this year, but are projected to have a low pick next year. This is like a little bit cheating, but not enough cheating that I care enough. So it takes us 2 second-round picks only and a pick swap next year to move all the way up to 5 in this draft. That is going to be the biggest trade, except for maybe the Devin Hamilton trade, but maybe even bigger than that we make. Now we have to trade up from 5 to 1 with the Texans, as Brandon Nash is the quarterback that we want. Also trying to trade up into the 2nd round here by giving a 3rd and a couple of 5ths. 2 second-round picks here. This is a lot of trading. I'm sorry. It's hard to keep up. I know. But a lot of trading was needed, and I didn't want to show you the entire time of what it took for me to negotiate. So I'm just kind of showing you the deals that we ended up making. Tried to get up to pick number 2 here. This is actually the last trade. We have all the other picks that I want. This is how close we were to getting the number 2 pick. I wanted both of them. But considering I value both Nichols and McLean kind of as the same, I definitely value Brandon Nash over Sean Rogers. I think, you know, his ability to throw on the run and things does make him a little bit more valuable, despite the fact that I think he's only normal or star dev. I think McLean versus Nichols is a lot closer to me. So I'm willing to go to pick 3, and if 2 ends up being George McLean, it's unfortunate, but I'll take it. So just looking here for pick 3 ends up being the Vikings pick. So a 1, a 2, and a 4 gets us up to number 3. And that was a lot of trades that I kind of just rushed through, but let's take a look at the end results. We traded Devin Hamilton, Darius Slayton in terms of players, and then a bunch of picks. We have picks 1 and 3 and 25. We have that mid to late 40s pick. We have the first 2 picks in the 4th round. And then next year we only have a 1, a 3, and a 6, so we definitely decimated our draft for next year. But that's kind of what you see GMs do when their jobs are on the line. They'll make the win now move because they don't want to lose their jobs, and we are in that situation. So let's take a look here now at the players. Now that we have the draft capital and know a little bit more of what we're doing, we also have the combine, and Brandon Nash ran a 4.25. Whoa! I was wondering why he was going first overall despite being like the 4th quarterback on the board. I thought maybe is it just scheme fit? No, it's because like if I've been operating under the assumption that Brandon Nash is one of those like 76 overall, 90 speed, 90 throw power kind of guys, but this is a game changer. That's like 4.4 speed. This guy's 4.25. I just rode a 4.30 at the combine. That's at least 95 speed. Maybe even as it's not going to be a 99 speed quarterback, is it? I think we're looking at one of those generational fast quarterbacks now. Wow. Our 2nd generational player in 4 years. Honestly thought if anyone was going to be generational in this class, it was George McLean. Maybe he still is. 2 generationals in 1 draft though. Hunter Nichols looks really good. And he looks just a step below George McLean. So if George McLean doesn't get taken 2nd, I will take him 3rd rather over Hunter Nichols. I know there's like the storyline of creating the widest defensive line in NFL history. That would be funny. But I'd rather just take the better player. Rashard Younger, still planning to take him at 25. According to the mock drafts, he will be available. He wasn't even going in the 1st round, so he was probably like a high 2nd round pick. One of the first few picks of the 2nd round. I don't want to risk it, so I traded up into the back end of the 1st for him to pick 25. And then I think Reggie Flynn and Jalen Turner are my plans with the round 4 pick, or we try to trade those 2 4th round picks up for DeJounte Hillhouse. That's something we could do as well. Is DeJounte Hillhouse good enough to be better for us than both Jalen Turner and Reggie Flynn? I mean, our team needs have definitely shaken up after the Darius Slayton trade. You have to put receiver somewhere in the top 5, right? Our wide receiver 2 is a 72 overall normal. But we didn't use our wide receiver 2 a lot last year. Very interesting. Like, Rambo had more yards and touchdowns and he missed time. Of course, we don't have Rambo either, though. He didn't want to resign, and I didn't want to try to force him to come back. Very interesting. That's kind of something I hadn't considered. Is DeJounte Hillhouse? I think he looks better than Jalen Turner and Reggie Flynn. We're going to pick up the 5th-year option here for Brian Pearson, but he's so much better that he's worth taking just that 1 player over the 2 players. Our need at receiver makes that a tricky choice. Quincy Boston, we're gonna accept these 5th-year options mostly because we have so many player up for contract next year. That's the other phase of like being in phase 2 that I'm talking about, where these players are also going to become expensive. We've had $200 million in cap space forever. We're not going to have that for very much longer. Like within a couple of off seasons, we've drafted so well and developed so well that our cap space is going to go to crap very, very shortly. Maybe we put our focus scouting on Hill House and then the 2 4th-round guys. Maybe get a little bit better idea of which would be better for us. Let's take a look first, though, at the free agent signings. Zeke. Oh, got some high-end offensive players here. Travis Kelce is no longer a Chief. Chargers get themselves a good punter. So that's probably the biggest news that we saw here, is that Travis Kelce is no longer a Chief. Aiden Hutchinson goes to the Jaguars. Presumably to team up with Trayvon Walker. So the top 2 picks of this past draft are now together. Jalen Thompson goes to the Chargers as well. Solid safety for them. They've always been so good offensively, and now they're adding to their defense. Not that their defense hasn't been good, it's been good. Cole Holcomb also to the Chargers. So not a ton of activity at the top of free agency for our division. The Chargers got a couple defenders and a punter, and then the Chiefs lost Travis Kelce. I think their tight end 2 is pretty good, though. I mean, he's not as good as Travis Kelce, but I don't think it's going to be like a massive, just like devastating hit. I think they'll still be fine at tight end. Let's do our private workouts. I think that's what we'll do. I think we'll do DeJounte Hillhouse, Reggie Flynn, and Jalen Turner. Younger's tempting, but I'm picking him regardless. I really liked him. He was a 4-star prospect for me. So if we can get 2 5-stars and a 4-star in this draft, woo! I mean, not if we can. We will get that. I've already made the trades to make it happen. I did them all pre-draft. I didn't want the draft to be crazy. I wanted to set our team up prior to the draft. Mock Draft 5 has us taking Brandon Nash, which will be the pick. Has us taking Malcolm Dunn. That will be George McLean if he's there. Will not be Malcolm Dunn. Malcolm Dunn's, I think, my edge 4 or 5 in this class. And that has Rashard Younger there, available at 25. So it has 2 of our 3 picks that I will be taking correct. Just want to see where on the board Rashard Younger is, and I'm actually confident he'll be there at 25, despite the mock draft. He's at 38. So if that's 13 spots higher than his ranking, and the mock draft hasn't being available there, I'm fairly confident Rashard Younger will be there at 25. I also want to see where, we have pick 49, we don't have a mock draft to help us. Where's JTB? So that's also 13 picks ahead. Typically I like to be 15, 13 is a little risky. If all else fails, we can draft DeJounte Hillhouse and then maybe draft Orlando Black, the corner, instead of Reggie Flynn, the linebacker. We still have 50% on Hill's house, though. What about... Did it not work? Oh! I haven't simulated for the week yet. We need to simulate for the week for us to get the percentages. I think we've set ourselves up to have a very, very good draft. I cannot believe that quarterback ran a 4.25. To me, he didn't look like a generational guy. I mean, I guess it's just because Madden generates guys like that more frequently. We never looked at Rashard Younger's official, McCollum's athleticisms. He does have elite speed and good strength, so we got on the high end of both of those, which is good. Let's take a look at DeJounte Hillhouse here. 21 years old, good speed, good strength. F injury though. If we learned anything from the past 2 seasons, it's that F injury defensive linemen will get injured. They will. It's not a matter of if. GTP ends up with a good speed. Had a sub 4.5. I like him. I think he's going to be really good. Let's take a look at Reggie Flynn here. And it looks like a coverage exclusive guy. Has the elite speed. Has the A zone. A zone can mean it could be like 73. It could also be like 63. it's a very wide range, so you run the risk of this guy actually sucking. If anyone sucks from the guys on my board, it's going to be Reggie Flynn. But I think he's going to be good. I think he looks like the 87 speed, 71 zone kind of guy. Jalen Turner ends up with the great speed. A catching, B in traffic, C spec, C short and medium route. So it's really just deep routes. He sucks at deep routes and he sucks at release. Everything else, he's at least C, and he's a day 3 guy. I really like Jalen Turner a lot. Reggie Flynn, I think he's worth the risk. I think he's going to be good. There's risk he's bad. I've seen it happen before. Could happen again. I don't think it's going to be the case with him, though. He has the A. He has the elite. We are ready for this draft. We hold the number 1 overall pick, and there is no drama here, especially once we learn just how fast Brandon Nash is. I want to take a final look at Sean Rogers, though, because once we figured out his speed, he was already higher on our board. That just made him higher even more. Ends up with the elite throw power, though, for Rogers. And the speed, I'm going to guess, is around 80. I think Sean Rogers is a really good pick. And in a draft without Brandon Nash, I would be absolutely comfortable taking him number 1. But this draft is not without Brandon Nash. I think we might have ourselves a generational fast quarterback here, and we will be taking him 97 speed at quarterback, 96 agility, 97 change of direction, 93 acceleration, 91 throw power. Is going to be a downgrade over Devin Hamilton by 2 throw power. But look at what you're getting as a runner. He's faster than Kevon Simmons in the backfield, and Kevon Simmons is one of the faster backfield players in the league. Brandon Nash is the fastest quarterback in the league right now. I think Lamar Jackson has 96, does he not? And I think Malik Willis has like 92. Danny Peck does go second. I think he had really good ratings. He just was a step below athletically. Guys like George McLean and Hunter Nichols. Sub 4.6 guy, 38 bench reps. Is awesome. A finesse moves, hit power, impact, pursuit, play rec, awareness, B power moves, C block shed. George McLean. Welcome to the Express. Hidden Dev once again, 90 strength. That edge is sick, especially because he'll be playing up to 94. 85 speed, 89 acceleration as well. 21 years old, 6'4", 276. We got 2, I think, incredible picks at the top of this draft. Hopefully, they'll push us towards the playoffs because we desperately need it here. Matthew Collins goes forward to the Jets. Sean Rogers goes to the Texans. So the Texans, they have the number 1 overall pick. We kind of forced them to trade. Hunter Nichols goes 6 or 7. What was that? But I think they got the second best quarterback out of it. So we'll definitely take a look at a lot of these guys that were on our board after the draft. Malcolm Dunn goes there to the Bills. I think he's a good player. But didn't really scout some of these guys. Larry Holt I really liked, and he goes to the Broncos at 16. I think that might be one of the bigger steals of the first round, honestly. Of course, except for Rashard Younger. Oh man, the Chiefs pick right before us. If they snipe Younger from us. And they do go tackle. Bobby Tucker was on our board. I think they've got a good tackle there. I just don't think he's going to be as good as Rashard Younger. Rashard Younger did not get drafted before us. Still just the 3rd tackle on the board. No, that is a misprint. Rashard Younger is really good. Sub 4.8. A injury as well. Paying a lot more attention to injury these days. So we've been kind of screwed by it. There's only one thing that could even be a D, and we don't even know if it is. Everything else, C and above, hidden dev. You always worry about that with offensive linemen, like we had last year with our center, but this time around, Rashard Younger looks sick. He looks awesome, and of course the hidden dev You'll love to see it. 3 for 3 in the first round, and we have continued our streak thus far in the draft of really good luck with hidden devs. We're going to advance to our next user pick here. We're not going to be trading up. We kind of saw what the draft of the top of this draft looks like. I honestly don't have a lot of players on my board in the middle of the draft. I mean like late 1, early 2. JT Bean is our next pick. He does not get picked before 49. The draft really thinks he should be on the Jaguars, but he's not going to be a Jaguar. He's going to be a San Antonio Express. Hidden dev again. Let's go. The jumping is terrible. But he's going to be our corner 3, maybe even our corner 4. It depends on what his overall is. He's either a depth corner or a third corner that starts at nickel. C man coverage, B zone coverage. So we've now gone through 4 drafts, and I have yet to draft somebody in the first or second round that was not hidden dev. That is easily the best streak I've ever had, especially because we've had a ton of picks in the first 2 rounds in these 4 drafts. Now the question becomes, do we trade up for DeJounte Hillhouse? Do we sacrifice Jalen Turner and Reggie Flynn for DeJounte Hillhouse? I think there's 2 factors that make me lean no. 1, we look at DeJounte Hillhouse here. He has F injury. The reason I need a 3rd defensive tackle is because our top 2 defensive tackles have bad injury ratings. So I'm just getting another one. How much is he going to help us? Also, he could be normal and he would break my streak. So there's always that risk. I was saying I would make the decision based off that. The second one is Jalen Turner. Plays wide receiver, and all of a sudden that's a very big need for us. So I think we will simulate here. We will not trade up for DeJounte Hillhouse. We'll definitely take a look at his rating, though, before this episode is over. First up, Jalen Turner. I like him more than Reggie Flynn, so we'll just draft him ahead of him. Ends up with normal dev, but 93 speed's pretty good. And he sucks at deep route and release, but he seems at least C or above on everything else. So, you know, you just pump some deep threat upgrades into him early, and he could end up being a really solid receiver for us, I think. And then our last pick in this draft. So far, everything's gone perfectly to plan. Reggie Flynn, 86 speed, so a little bit lower than I thought, but not too much. Normal dev, not surprised by that. Can catch a little bit, can cover, can run a little bit. I like the pick. And we don't really have any ammunition to trade back into this draft. I'll just show you the ammunition. We have a 1, a 3, and a 6 next year, and I want the 1 and the 3 to give us the flexibility to trade up in the first if there's a really good looking player at the top. Of course, our first isn't even our own, it's Atlanta's first next year, so we have no incentive at all to lose because it does not affect our first round draft pick. So let's simulate to the end of this draft. I really like this draft. I think it was a very, very clutch draft and a time we needed it most, but I'm going to edit these players' likenesses and numbers and stuff, and then we'll take a look at them. The likenesses have been updated, and boy, am I excited to show you guys this class. Brandon Nash is an 81 overall quarterback. 81 overall, so we get a +7 upgraded quarterback. And look at these ratings: 88 short accuracy, 4 higher than Devin Hamilton, 79 medium accuracy, 1 lower, deep accuracy, 2 higher. So he's already a more accurate quarterback, except for medium, he's down by 1. But look at his ability to run the ball. 93 juke, he has better juke, or the same juke, I can't remember, as Kevon Simmons right now. 87 spin move is what Kevon Simmons came into the league with. 87 break, sack, 88 throw on the run. I thought that was break tackle. I was going to be like, what? 81 player action, 83 under pressure. Brandon Nash is incredible. George McLean, not bad himself at 79 overall. Comes in with 79 finesse moves, 73 power moves, and 72 block sheds. So he's gonna only have 3 bars to start, but he's like 1 finesse move away from having a 4th pass rush bar, which is very big. His injury plays up to a 92. That's very big for our defensive lineman. That's the highest injury on our defensive line right now. Very good player. Super excited about having him on the squad as well. Rashard Younger is also really good. 74. I don't know how he's only a 74, honestly. Let's look at these ratings. Nothing below 70 as a rookie. He technically had 69 nice run block power, but he's playing up 3. So everything's already in the 70s with 90 lead block, 84 impact block as well. Strength playing up to 92. We already saw that his elite speed, but 99 injury and 98 stamina. That means 4 of our 5 starting offensive linemen have 99 injury. Kind of the opposite of our defensive line. Whether he plays guard or tackle, I don't know quite yet who's going to play guard and tackle between him and Eli Shea on the right side. But those are going to be our 2 right side offensive linemen. We're going to have Cedric Gallimore come in and slide inside to center. JT Bean, I honestly thought he was going to be like a low 70s and he was going to be our corner 4 this year, but at 74, he's already tied with Caleb Bass. I thought he was going to be like have 70 in both coverages with C and B, but I mean 69, he's right there. He's also nice. 70 catching is good. The jumping is not there. The speed is. Conservative play ball tendency is not great, but we're talking about a guy who's our corner 3, you know. We're not asking him to carry too much weight defensively, but I do think he'll be our corner 3 in slot. I think he'll start immediately over Caleb Bass. Jalen Turner, I think, is also good enough at 72 overall coming in to be our wide receiver 2. I think he's going to take that role over Jackson. I came into the year expecting Jackson to be wide receiver 2 and this guy to be wide receiver 3, but kind of those a couple of our mid picks actually ended up being better than I even thought they would be. And so I really like Jalen Turner. And then, you know, we had these 5 picks that were all really good. I'm really excited about, and we had 1 absolute miss in Reggie Flynn. I said there was a risk of this. Sometimes A zone coverage is only 65. He has 99 injury, which is cool. You know, that's good for a backup linebacker. You know, he's probably not going to get injured. But let's not take that miss away from a very, very exciting class. Let's take a look at the league. Denny Peck looks really good. 84 power moves and 80 block shedding. That's really good, actually. Wow. I wonder they didn't want to give us pick 2. He's also 21 years old. I think this guy has a better chance of being generational than McLean even. 84 and 80? He's just star though. He's not generational. Even though he had 2 less overall points, like those are better high-end ratings than E4 power, 80 block shed, same injury. Stamina's a 99, which is nice. Of course, we had McLean. Let's take a look at the other quarterbacks in this class. We know that Brandon Nash is going to be the best, but let's just do it. Pretty solid. He doesn't have the deep accuracy all that much, but I think a solid pick here for the Jets. 74, hidden dev. Yeah, he's 23. Star dev, though. Solid. I think you're fine with that. Sean Rogers ends up being a 76. He looks really good. I mean, let's take a look at the actual ratings. Yeah, he looks really good. 86 mid is awesome. 83 short is definitely good enough. 77 deep's not bad either. Ends up with 80 speed like I predicted. 94 throw power, maybe a titch lower. I thought he was like in the 97 and 95 range, so he ends up 1 lower than the range I thought. He is superstar dev though. So we had 2 quarterbacks that we liked. We gave them both 5 stars. I think we were accurate giving them both 5-star ratings. They're both really good. I would be more than happy to have Sean Rogers as my quarterback for the foreseeable future. And then a 78 overall Hunter Nichols. This class was stacked. This year 4 class was the best class. You can hate on me all you want for making a bunch of trades, but like, you don't get a class this good very often. 82 power moves, 76 finesse, 75 block shed, 85 strength. He's playing up to 98 injury. That's really good. So he has 6 injury over him. Speed and acceleration is really similar. His moves are better. It's really just he has 5 less strength. And is really 5 strength enough to make George McLean better than Hunter Nichols? I think Hunter Nichols might be better. He has a buff star. I might be willing to say that McLean was a miss. Not a miss, but like, I should have had Nichols higher. He is just star though. He's also 1 year older. Let's take account of that. Like, what are McLean's ratings going to look like when he comes into his age 22 season? You know what I mean? Wes McNeil, biggest arm, slowest speed, worst mid accuracy, but he has the deep and the short and good spots. Hidden dev once again. He gets star dev. This is a really good quarterback class. We've seen 4 quarterbacks in the mid to high 3 in the mid to high 70s, and then, or I guess just mid 70s, and then 1 in the low 80s. Malcolm Dunn, solid player. I had him as edge 4 in this class. I had Danny Peck at edge 5, so that was a miss. Wanted to take a look at Larry Holt. He ends up being 74. But, you know, 85 speed, 89 acceleration, 78 finesse moves, 75 block shed. Those are just a finesse rusher. He doesn't have the power moves, but he's a good finesse rusher. So I think we were right with him as well. Superstar dev too. Dude, what is the top of this class? It is really, really good. We have this class on lockdown, man. I should have had 6. Wish this was our first draft and we had like 1 million picks. We'd have gotten 2 sick edges. We had a sick quarterback already. Rasher's a pretty solid looking receiver. Just kidding, I don't wish this was the first draft. We wouldn't have Lewis Smart, who's incredible. Probably the best tight end I've ever drafted. In terms of both like his speed, his size, his catching, and his run blocking. Holy. Kyle Pitts has like changed the way Madden generates tight ends. Riker Fox is 75 overall receiver with 97 speed, a 77 overall tight end here in round 2. We didn't even scout tight ends. Cormier was the receiver on our board. We're never really going to draft him though. I'm looking for DeJounte Hillhouse. Ends up 72 hidden dev, 90, so 87 strength, 74 power moves, 71 block shed. Really good player. Was he alone more valuable than Jalen Turner and Reggie Flynn? I think Reggie Flynn's basically a miss, so at this point you're comparing him to Jalen Turner. He's just star dev, he's the same overall. He has F injuries. I'm happy with it. We took a shot, we missed one, and we hit one. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else that we really need to look at here. There's a running back here. Didn't scout running back either. Dylan Hanley. Yeah, he definitely would have been on my board if we were scouting though. Those are some really good ratings. He'd have been a sick running back to have as a backup to Simmons. But Simmons, we don't really play as backups hardly ever. Reggie Flynn was the worst pick in the 4th round. That's unfortunate. Amari Burgess was a higher rated player than Jalen Turner. He's at 75 overall. Is he a better pick though? Better route runner, a little bit better release. One better as a deep route runner. It's really the 2 speed. I think other than that, Amari Burgess is the better player. We have a little bit more speed with Jalen Turner. I'm not mad at the pick. But maybe Amari Burgess should have been higher rated over Jalen Turner on our board. Just 170 overall taken in the 5th. We had a 74 receiver taken in the 6th. Ryan Dukes. Is he on our board? Seems like the kind of skill set that might have been, but I can't remember his name, so I don't think so. Probably due to his age. Let's take another look at just the top of the draft here. We've seen all these guys. Let's look at Peter Everett. So the Steelers had 2 top 5 players in the draft as well as us. Also had dual hidden devs as well. So Steelers, very good draft for them. I have to give the advantage to us just because Brandon Nash in and of himself, you get the best draft class you get if you have Brandon Nash. Donovan Tucker, though, a really, really good pick by the Patriots. Patriots and their tight ends. He has higher than stars, a really good pick. Oh my goodness, what a pick by the Patriots. You knew a good second-round tight end was going to the Patriots, though, didn't you? It was just bound to happen. A really fun and good draft class. I think it's hard to dispute that this is the best draft class we've seen in the 4 years. You can maybe argue the first as well. The first didn't have any generational talents, I don't think. Let's take a look at our division here. Larry Holt, we've already seen. Superstar edge rusher. In the division, he's my edge 3 in this class. Really liked him. They also have a hidden dev at their other outside linebacker. He's kind of just a run stopper though, 6'1", 234. So they got 270 plus hidden dev edge rushers. He's not really an edge rusher though, but he's going to play edge rusher for them. I can move him to off-ball linebacker, but he doesn't really cover either. What is he? I think he's a tweener. All he does is stop the run. I don't know what to do with him. 470 pluses for the Chargers. Very nice. Alex Franklin's a 72. I do have a 3-4, I think, so that is the correct position for him. Start F. Another defensive lineman here, Dimitri Blanton, 71. Again, he's playing the right position in a 3-4. Another run stopper. They are looking to be able to stop the run. They see their division rivals, the Express, getting better at running the ball. This is kind of fun, you know. You play to beat your division. Brandon is just a normal dev player. A defensive tackle that once again is a run stopping archetype. And then a normal dev backup halfback. Their halfback room wasn't entirely very strong. Obviously, actually, he might have been picked after that other back. They were both in the same round. Robbie Tucker ends up being a 73 overall. It's hard to argue that Rashard Younger is a better player. They're both the same age. Unless this guy is superstar and Rashard Younger is a star, then Tucker would be better, but he's not. So we got the better tackle, I think, a pick later than our division rivals. They also got an outside linebacking and a lot of run stoppers. Our division is trying to stop us from running the ball. A lot of hidden dev run stopping players in this division. I don't like it. I need a superstar too. The Chiefs do not need another superstar. They don't. We gifted them Max Crosby. So 2 other superstars were drafted in the front 7 from our division. I think it's hard to argue that our draft class was the best, though. We had a lot of ammo, especially at the top. We traded a ton to get it. Very wild time for us trading all those picks. Let's get into the preseason now. Let's talk about our focus players for this year. Brandon Nash does have X Factor. I don't know if we're really spoiling that. An 81 overall quarterback with that speed. You knew he was generational. I don't think I'm going to give focus to our normal dev guys. There's just too many guys with better development that I want to make sure we actually develop. We have a chance to get, a better receiver later. Definitely have a chance to get a better off-ball linebacker later. We now have 3 players under 85 that are superstars. So that's like my #1 goal in development, other than also developing our hidden dev rookies. With JT Bean being like our borderline 3rd or 4th corner, it's tempting to maybe put Brian Pearson over him as well. I think for now though, we'll keep it. Because JT Bean could be a superstar himself. Who knows? We know he's not X Factor because it would show there. I don't know if that's intentional by Madden. Let's take a look at our team after the offseason. First with Eddie Hazelton. And thinking of mentors, we have to consider that we're re-signing players, and so they're going to want to re-sign with us more if we have mentors. So receiver is the position I think we're going to have a mentor at because of that. Both because Eddie Hazelton will be more likely to resign, and we have a couple young guys that actually we need to develop our wide receiver 2 and 3 at this point. Eli Shea is another one, so I probably wouldn't put mentor at right tackle, except for the fact that it's going to help Eli Shea take less money to resign with us. Let's move Cedric Gallimore. I said he's going to play center for us this year. Let's move him there. And then do we play Eli Shea or Rashard Younger at right guard? I think it's going to be Rashard Younger, just because Eli Shea has a little bit better pass blocking grades. That's what it is. I think long term I like Rashard Younger better at right tackle, so why don't you just put him there right now? I don't know. Well, I do know. I want the better pass blocker playing tackle, and for right now it's Eli Shea. If Rashard Younger at some point in his career becomes a better pass blocker than Shea, we might make the switch then. I just want pass blocking tackles. Offensively, we're looking pretty good. He is close to home, so we don't need a mentor for him. Let's look at Victor Giles. He does want a mentor, so probably going to have a mentor at left outside linebacker this year. Also, just not a bad idea, just for the fact that we need him to get to 85 overall. Speedy quick. Michael Franklin doesn't want to be here, but that's because we haven't won in our first 3 years of franchise history. We're an expansion draft only team. You got to cut us some slack. We're going to win a lot this year, I think, hopefully. Bramble is going to want to re-sign. I wasn't even planning on him being on the team as of a week ago, but his injury saves him. I think that's all in terms of big time starters that we need to know their motivation. So we need a mentor for Giles, Shea, and Hazelton. So we'll probably be doing that. We're going to have JT Bean be our corner 3 over Caleb Bass, so the same overall. Bean's younger, higher ceiling. For the same reason, we're going to have Jalen Turner be our wide receiver 2. Yeah, 22 years old. This is his first year. Jackson's been in the... I think he was a rookie the first year. He's already like 26 years old. Offense is looking really good though. Other than receiver 2 and 3, we're all hidden dev plus. Defense are in a very similar boat. It's just in a 4-3 we have one linebacker with normal dev. Other than that, we're all hidden plus. let's get into the cuts now. No preseason scenarios this offseason, unfortunately. Got 7 players to cut. We're seeing a few of our mentors here. I'll go over them after these cuts. Let's move our 3rd quarterback there. We got 3 players left to cut. Let's move Hamlin there. Jackson Hitchens kind of sucks. Don't want to cut any of those guys. Maybe Tarvarius Hall? Kind of sucks. Not a pass blocking. It's getting harder to find cuts. He was just picked in the 4th round, but we might need to add Reggie Flynn to the practice squad, unfortunately for him. And then let's move Kevin Kendricks to the practice squad, and that should be it for us. As we are here at the end of the preseason. Got some upgrades to do that we got throughout the preseason. We'll start here with Timmy Reed. See if we can't get him up to 90 overall power rusher here soon. It's 2 block shed, that's pretty good. His block shed and power move are actually playing up to the same rating now. Darius Connor will go run support here. See if we can't get like hit power, tackle, stuff like that. Get 2 plus 2 hit power, one tackle, still get a zone as well. Now, matching zone and man, both at 84. Both 1 away from the deep green. Gonna go slot for Hazleton. Maybe a catch in traffic, gets 1. And 1 to every route as well. Getting traffic now in the deep green, adds a short route. Everything but mid route, really. Michael Franklin. Go pass. Coverage for him. +3 man, +1 zone. Zone just can't quite get to 80 yet. Matthew Welker. Good kicker. How was he? Actually rated the same in power and accuracy now. That makes sense. He's really good at both. Eli Shea is balanced now, so that's nice to see. What's his lowest rating? Pass, block, finesse. So we'll do agile. Gets 1 of pass, block, and 1 of block, finesse. Pass, block, finesse is still his lowest rating though, so it looks like another agile next time for him. Jerome Snell. Let's look at his lowest rating. It is pass, block, finesse. Looks like an agile rating for him as well. And he gets 2 of it. So now pass block power is the only thing still in the yellow for him. Nice. Quincy Boston. We have 87 man, 83 zone. I think they're close enough for us to do slot as you get a chance for both, but a higher chance for man. He does get +1 man. Approaching now 90 overall. Both him and Timmy Reed. I think everyone else we can upgrade automatically, as we've already done a bunch of upgrades here. And this episode is getting long, as some off seasons tend to do, especially ones when you make like 10 trades. The sun is shining on my face right now. But that's basically gonna be it for our 4th off season. What do you think of what we've been able to accomplish here? I think we've been able to accomplish quite a lot. we are ready for Season 4. Of course, our job is on the line. Peyton, the owner, has made that very clear. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reveal the hidden dev trait for Brendan Nash. We know he's already X Factor. I want his X Factor to be on the field for his debut. Still have 457 points. And then the last thing I want to do is show you the preview of, or I guess show you just who our mentors are. First, at quarterback, we have Carson Wentz to mentor Brandon Nash. We have Rashard Higgins here to increase Hazelton's desire to come back, as well as help develop Jalen Turner. We have Jermaine Ifedi here to help develop Eli Shea and to get him to want to re-sign with us. We have Kyle Fuller for the fact that we now have 4 corners, all with star plus dev. So let's develop these guys. One of them is a rookie. Correa to increase Giles' interest and also hopefully get him to 85 overall faster. Than Autry for McLean to help in his development. He is one of the better, he's the second best rookie that we drafted. And this is what the team looks like for year 4. I think we're better than we were going into year 3. I think the biggest change is at quarterback. We're a lot better at quarterback. Plus 7 overall, plus 2 dev traits as well. That's really good. And our defensive line's looking a lot better. We have guys like D'Angelo Bramble and John Smith coming off the bench now. That's in a really good spot. Maybe we end up trading Bramble once he comes back from injury. Gives us another pick in a draft that we don't have a lot. I also don't know if we have a lot of needs going in next year. I guess it depends on the re-signs. So we'll have 10 players to re-sign that are all playing big roles for us, starting roles. And so a lot can go wrong when you're trying to re-sign 10 starters. That's almost half of our starters. But that's it for this off-season episode. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week for the beginning of Season 4, and I will see you then.